This is the WISPR Vaporizer, which comes from the same company that makes the original IOLITE vape, and the retail price of this one from an authorized dealer is $269. Now the IOLITE is a very popular portable vaporizer, and the manufacturer released this version more recently to improve on the aesthetics and to add a few features that were missing from the original. This vape is made in Ireland, and unlike most other vapes currently on the market, this thing is powered by butane gas. There are no batteries or chargers with this one. This thing uses the butane that you fill it with and a built-in igniter switch to heat the herb chamber. The WISPR is available in a handful of different colors, and this one happens to be brown, or espresso as they call it. So to give it its power, you need to take your can of butane, which is sold in most convenience stores. This is just an example of the one I have. And the way these normally work is if you take off the cap, it's going to have a little filling nozzle on the tip, and you fill it through this valve on the bottom of the WISPR. So you hold the WISPR upside down, you also hold your can of butane upside down, and you line the nozzle up onto the valve, and then you would push the can down and hold it down for a few seconds, and it'll fill the chamber up with the butane. And then after about 5 seconds or so, you'll either hear or see it start to overflow, and that's when you pull the can away, and that's when it's full. And after filling it with butane, you'll just want to wait a couple minutes for it to settle down before you press the starter to get it going. Now, one of the upgrades that they made to the WISPR is that they added this viewing window here to see how much butane you have left. And this is something that the original IOLITE vape doesn't have. With the older one, you just need to sort of gauge how much you have left. Through my testing, I found that I was able to get just about 6 full vape sessions that were roughly 15 minutes each out of each gas filling, which is the same as I got with the IOLITE. And with a can of butane this size, you should be able to refill the WISPR roughly 10 times or so. So after your butane is filled, you'll want to get your herbs packed in there. And to fill your herb chamber, what you'll do is pull out the rubber mouthpiece, which is attached to the chamber, like that. And inside the top piece here, there's a screen down at the bottom, and this is where you will lightly pack your herbs. And it seems to work best if you don't pack it too much past about 3/4 full. And the bottom chamber here inside the unit, this is what actually heats up. So after you have your herbs packed in here, you basically take the top piece and just slide it down on top like that. So this flexible rubber mouthpiece is also new for the WISPR because the original IOLITE version has a rigid plastic stem instead. And one of the cool things about this being flexible rubber is that when you're not using it, you could fold it down and store it like that. So once you have your butane filled and your herbs packed, you're ready to turn it on. And to do that, you need to use this side switch here that's built in. Pushing this side switch down to the first position will start the flow of gas, and you'll start to hear that low hissing sound. And then pushing it down to the second position will engage the igniter. And when you're doing that, you'll actually want to look at this side of the vape, because this is the indicator light to tell you if it's actually on or not. So after a few seconds of the gas running, you push down the igniter, and you'll see that this light starts to glow orange, which indicates that it's successfully heating now. Every once in a while, it won't start on the first try, the first time you click it down, but you shouldn't have to do it more than twice to get it going. So each time the heater is engaged, you'll hear this low hissing sound or whooshing sound, and the way this vape works is that it attempts to reach and hold a preset temperature. And the preset temp is 374 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius, and it holds that temp steady by periodically stopping and starting the heating element during your session. So each time the heater turns on, you'll hear that noise, and the orange light on the side will glow. And the cycle of turning on and off will keep repeating itself until you turn the switch back up to the off position when you're done. Now, one of the things that's a little funky with this vape, which also happens with the older IOLITE model, is that there actually is a little bit of a butane smell every time the heater is engaged again. Now, it's not a humongous deal because through all my testing, I never actually tasted the butane through the mouthpiece. Just don't let it throw you off if you smell it a little bit while you're vaping. The smell of the gas actually seems to come out the side of the unit, and it doesn't actually pass through the herb chamber. So while testing the WISPR, I found that if you take slow, long draws instead of fast, short ones, you'll get more vapor. And the only downside to this is that the air passing through this short mouthpiece tends to get a little hot after a few seconds, so you'll have to do some experimenting on your own to figure out what the best draw speed is for you. And I'd say that the herb chamber inside is a medium size for a portable vape, meaning that it's not tiny, but one packing is really only enough for one or maybe two people. And with the herb chamber packed mostly full, you can realistically expect up to about 10 small to medium sized draws. So when you're done vaping and your herbs are spent and you want to turn the unit off, all you got to do is flip the switch on the side back up to the original position, like that. So one of the cool things that I like about the WISPR is that it is pretty stealthy in my opinion. It's definitely not the smallest vape out there, but with the way that it's shaped and the design on the outside, I'm pretty sure that most people would not know what this is if they're seeing it for the first time, especially with the mouthpiece in the stored position like that. And it also comes with this simple drawstring bag to carry it around in. So overall, I think this is a pretty decent vape, and it's probably best for you if you're someone who doesn't want to have to worry about plugging in or charging their vaporizer. If you're interested in buying one of these, I put a link in the description to my favorite vape store that I highly recommend you check out, and they do include your first can of butane for free to get you started. Or if you haven't made up your mind yet, you could also check out my website, vapecritic.com, for some more reviews and comparisons. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and if you have any questions, send them my way.